ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I said that Derry would be the last one seated. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Bob Kratz. I'm the Director of Alumni Engagement here at Moravian College. And let me just start off by saying Merry Christmas, season's greetings. Thank you for being here. Tonight, the Alumni Award Ceremony is our most significant alumni event of the year, and one of the reasons it's so significant and wonderful is because you're here. So thank you for being here tonight. At this time, I'd like to introduce Amanda Warner, who is the Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement. Amanda, it's all yours.
Thank you, Bob. Good evening and welcome to the Moravian College's Alumni Association's 16th Annual Alumni Award Ceremony. As Bob said, my name is Amanda Werner. I'm a member of the class of 2013 and the Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement for my alma mater. I'm delighted that you can join us this evening as we recognize the accomplishments of our current students and the extraordinary achievements and invaluable service of 6 of our outstanding alumni. In addition to this year's awards recipients, we are proud to have a number of our past award recipients here with us tonight. I would like to ask each of you to stand as I call your name so that we may recognize you. Candy Barr Heimbach from the class of 1979. Jack Burke from 1956. Joe Castellano from the class of 61. The Reverend Dr. Gordon Summers for the class of 1957. Jan Gollins, class of 1972. Bob Gratz from the class of 1975. Pat Helfrich from the class of 1957. Connie Hodson from class of 1968. Tom Kime, class of 1949. Rick Kingston from the class of 1977. Claire Krawcheck from the class of 1987. Lynn LeBar, class of 1985. Jessica Preston Grillo from the class of 2008. Janine Garaldo, class of 1969. And Denise Torma from the class of 1977. I believe we have an addition, David Vasily. Have I missed anybody else? Thank you for being here tonight to honor this year's recipients. We are especially pleased that Moravian's president, Dr. Brian Grigsby, can share in our celebrations this evening. A 1990 graduate of Moravian, President Grigsby's enthusiasm, vision, and leadership continues to transform the Moravian community and inspire alumni who have met him since his arrival in July of 2013. It is my privilege to introduce him to you this evening so that he can bring you his greetings. President Grigsby.
Merry Christmas. And because we're Moravian and we embrace all, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, belated Prophet's Day, whatever you possibly celebrate, is a joyous time to celebrate with family, friends, and loved ones, and to be back at a place you call home, your alma mater. Alma mater means nourishing mother, or if you like the Italian, which I do much better, soul mother. It's where you gain your soul, where you find out who you really are. And each one of you has made his or her impact at the school. Today we're going to celebrate three current students who are currently making their impact on the campus. And we're going to celebrate a number of graduates who have made impacts on the society. Moravian is a unique institution. It's a unique place. There's a star right above my head right now that kind of symbolizes a lot about the school itself. Each one of our graduates is like a beam of that star coming out. They're all the same distance, because that's why it's a circle, that's why it's a polyhedron. But some of them are triangles. Others of them are squares. They have their own different shape, but they all radiate out from the center, from the alma mater, from the place that they originated from. When I first became president, when I first became provost at Centenary College, I thought, wow, I must be one of the most distinguished alumni of Moravian. I got on the distinguished alumni page of Moravian. It was humbling, to say the least. And many of those names were announced out today that are sitting in the room here. Moravian has changed our society. It has made a huge impact on the world. We may be quiet about it, we may not celebrate it all that often, but from advertising to medical devices to drug therapy to legal to teachers and educators, we have made a huge impact both locally, nationally, and globally. This year, we celebrate 275 years. We are the 6th oldest college. There are only 5 schools in front of us that can say they are older than us and have celebrated 275 years. None of those schools can say they're the first to educate women or that they're first to educate Native Americans in their own language. Moravian holds that unique spot. And 275 years ago, I think what it must have been like for Count Zinzendorf to have just landed here, escaping religious persecution and murder. They were refugees, much like the refugees in Syria are today, or Afghanistan, or Iraq, just people searching for a better way to live, a better life, having a dream of a better life. And they came here, and they were challenged by hostile Native Americans. They were challenged by a land that they had not seen before, filled with bears, filled with wolves. They were trying to establish their colony. And after they named Bethlehem on Christmas Eve, 275 years ago, the older generation decides to take limited resources that were available for everybody. They could have done anything. They could have built another water mill. They could have built anything, or they could have just saved it. And they decide to take this, and he decides to bring his 16-year-old daughter forward and say, here, go take these resources and build a school for women. Can you come up with a nuttier idea? I mean, the other 5 schools built it for rich boys. Why wouldn't you do that? Because the Moravians knew that if you didn't educate the women first, you could never have an educated society because the women were the first educators of the children. That's pretty revolutionary for the 18th century. It's pretty revolutionary for some 21st century countries today. So that is the heritage that we have of the past generation paying it forward for the next generation. And I thank all of you in this room because each one of you continues that tradition. Because of generous donations from alumni and from friends and from parents, we're able to build a state-of-the-art health science building so that our students don't have to have it on their backs in tuition dollars. We're up 2 percentage points in alumni giving right now, which is huge. So our students don't have to take out more debt. Someone did it for you, and you're taking on the responsibility of doing it for the next generation. So thank you, because like that star above me, each one of you are a ray of light that radiates out from this college, and you know what it means to take care of your alma mater. So tonight, we celebrate everything you may be about to do if you're a student, or that you have done if you're an alum. It's a good day, as always, to be a hound. Thank you.
Thank you, President Grigsby. I am delighted to now present our 2016 Alumni Fellows Awards. These awards are given in recognition of academic excellence, leadership, and service to Moravian and the greater community. This year, like most, it was very challenging to decide on just 4 students to be awarded this honor. These 4 students are not only exceptional students academically, but they have been exceptional leaders on Moravian's campus, in the local community, and the wider world. They have distinguished themselves through various leadership positions, athletic achievements, community service, and countless clubs and organizations. Each student will receive a framed certificate in recognition of their outstanding achievement, a proclamation from Senator Boscola, and a $250 scholarship. As I read your name, please come forward to receive your certificate and be recognized for your achievements. Then remain standing in front of the stage until all student recipients have received their certificates. Jessica Butner demonstrates exemplary involvement at Moravian College as a sophomore student. The organizational leadership and law and society double major serves in many roles across campus, including parliamentarian of the United Student Government and co-vice president for Habitat for Humanity. As a freshman, Jessica received the Omicron Delta Kappa Leadership Honor Society Outstanding Freshman Leader Award and was elected as the Class of 2019 Homecoming Ambassador. She is also a resident advisor, 26-point ambassador, Moravian Star, and emerging leader mentor. Jessica has a passion for community service, which is present in her involvement with the National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week and the 1742 Experience. Jessica is dedicated to promoting involvement in community service with successful, strengthening partnerships, both necessary attributes for her involvement in the creation of the service staycation. Her work at the college has created countless new opportunities for students, current and future. Congratulations, Jessica. River Jordan is a neuroscience major who strives to make Moravian College a personable environment with open minds and a lack of ignorance. He does so as a resident advisor, teaching assistant, and tutor across 5 disciplines. River is seemingly always enriching our community, volunteering with Cops and Kids, William Penn's education program, Hounds for Kids, and many more. His work as president of the Brain Club receives national attention at the Society of Neuroscience. In the classroom, River is at the forefront of expanding the college's research influence, currently working on revolutionary Parkinson's disease research alongside Dr. Cecilia Fox. To further his career as a future medical scientist, River spent the summer on a funded research project at Stanford University, the first step in a budding partnership. Congratulations. Apologize in advance because I know I'm going to botch this one. Lukia Kanakamadala is a neuroscience major who dedicates her time and efforts to helping her fellow hounds succeed while making a significant impact on the greater community. Through her presidency in Brain Club, as well as her secretary positions in the Pre-Health Professions Club, Beta 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 Biology Honors Society, she takes an active leadership role in nearly everything she does. She helps students succeed in the classroom as a tutor and expands her impact as an emerging leader. As co-founder and vice president of Hounds for Kids, she unites students across majors, backgrounds, under one common goal: raise money for pediatric cancer. Her genuine care for the well-being of her community is inspiring another layer of community and common ground that is sure to live on. Erin Tawala is a biochemistry major, mathematics minor, whose leadership and passion influence all who meet her. Her leadership skills are active as the captain of the field hockey team, president of the Spanish club, and former emerging leader. An ardent peer educator, Erin helps her fellow students develop a passion for the sciences as an organic chemistry teaching assistant, and instructs first aid, CPR, and AED for the American Red Cross. She is heavily involved off campus with the Special Olympics, St. Luke's MRI and emergency departments, and Angel 34, which helps children in the fight against cancer. Her passion for community coming together around health continues with Moravian's College Relay for Life, American Heart Walk, and the Colleges Against Cancer, serving as their recruitment chair. Congratulations, Erin. The Alumni Association's president, Jessica Preston Grillo, member of the class of 2008, who will present our Alumni Awards. Jess.
A little tall for me. Good evening. It's my honor to present our 6 alumni recipients with their awards tonight in recognition of their dedication to Moravian College and their exceptional careers. I am on my tippy toes. We'll start with the Emerging Leader Award. The Emerging Leader Award is given to a young alumnus or alumna who graduated within the last 10 years and has actively supported Moravian and has demonstrated leadership in alumni programming. This year's recipient has been a continuous leader among alumni from the moment she left the commencement stage. She is highly involved in the Blue and Gray Club, serving as their vice president. Here to present Erica Blair, class of 2014. Our 2016 emerging leader is Alexandra Blair, class of 2012. I'm proud to be a part of this evening, which truly highlights the distinction of the Moravian College community, and I'm so excited for the opportunity to recognize one of the most deserving individuals with the Emerging Leader Award. Among many other accomplishments, this year's award recipient has demonstrated leadership and unparalleled commitment as the Vice President of the Moravian College Blue and Gray Club. For those of you who don't know, the Blue and Gray Club is a committee tasked with maintaining and improving Moravian's varsity athletic program through increasing financial support, improving visibility, and advocating on behalf of Moravian student athletes. Many of you have probably received a phone call from this individual. I've been fortunate to witness this recipient's growth and perseverance for many, many years. Besides excelling academically, she was a dedicated member of the student government and key contributor on the nationally ranked women's basketball team while here at Moravian. You can tell a lot about a person's character by asking them what they're most proud of. When I hear this individual share her greatest accomplishments and proudest moments from her collegiate experience, she almost always leads with the determination and focus she demonstrated through adverse injuries, the success of her team, and most prominently, the annual Special Olympics basketball tournament she founded and administered as the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee her senior year, an event that has continued to this day. Her desire to create meaningful change and prioritize social responsibility did not end after graduation. Upon graduating from Moravian with a Bachelor of Arts degree in management with a marketing concentration and Spanish minor, she started her professional career at Victaulic, the global leader of innovative construction piping solutions headquartered in Easton, PA. She most recently relocated to Philadelphia to pursue her passion as a marketing coordinator at Murray Devine, a top financial company for providing valuation advisory services. She's been an active Relay for Life team member, advocate for her corporate health fair, promoting holistic wellness, and girls basketball coach, empowering others to share in the same passion for athletics and community. This professional and philanthropic ambassador has demonstrated strong commitment to the Moravian College community through advocacy, financial means, and volunteerism. I'm proud to present the 2016 Emerging Leader Award on behalf of the Moravian College Alumni Association to Erica Blair.
Thank you, Allie. And thank you to the Alumni Association. It is an honor to be named the 2016 Emerging Leader. In my time at Moravian, I was able to participate in a varsity sport, serve on the executive committee of multiple organizations, and even forge the path for a charitable athletic program that is still carried out today at the college. Moravian's education, tradition, and athletics has helped to mold me into the well-rounded, multifaceted postgraduate that stands before you. I attribute my success as a developing young professional to the coaches, faculty, and friends that have facilitated my growth as a hound and beyond. My involvement in the Moravian Blue and Gray Club and as an active women's basketball alumna has helped me to give back a small part of what I have taken from my 4 years here. Although I am a Bethlehem native and recently moved to Philadelphia, Moravian will always be a home within my home. I am wholeheartedly grateful to have had the opportunity to continue my involvement with Moravian College nearly 2.5 years postgraduate. Thank you for honoring me with the award. And thank you to my wonderful, supportive family for being here today. I look forward to having a hand in the bright and promising future. Thank you.
The Young Alumni Achievement Award is given in recognition of the outstanding professional achievement of an alumnus or alumna who graduated from Moravian within the last 10 years. Here to present Beverly Beaver, class of 2008, Our 2016 Young Alumni Achievement Award recipient for her extraordinary work in the field of law is Dr. Sandra Bardsley, Professor of History.
I'm thrilled to be introducing Bev Beaver. Some of her many accomplishments since leaving Moravian are listed in the program. So what I really want to do is emphasize two intangible things that make Bev so very worthy of the Young Alumni Achievement Award. And those are her reflexive sense of justice and her humility. When Bev arrived at Moravian, she was already a person with a strong, ingrained sense of ethics and an expectation that she ought to be making things better for others. I was Bev's academic advisor, and because I was writing letters of recommendation for her, you might think she would keep me posted on things she did around campus. No. Whenever I happened to notice her leadership in the History Honor Society, or the Student Athlete Advisory Board, or the hockey team, the response was always slightly surprised. Something along the lines of, well, yeah, that needed to be done. In effect, she was saying, well, blah. Clearly, this reflexive impulse for justice is still with her. Katrina Young, a fellow public defender, told me a story that is so utterly Bev. This concerned one of her clients who was facing 4 to 8 years in prison after he was found guilty. Through getting to know the client and his family, Bev learned what an amazing father and husband he was. His wife was extremely ill, and had he been sentenced to remain in jail, his children likely would have gone into foster care. Bev went to his house and videotaped interviews with his children and wife to show the sentencing judge just how much they needed him and how he supported and cared for them. Bev happened to be at the house filming when her client called, and his 3-year-old daughter told him over the phone how she loved him and missed him. The judge, who has a reputation for being tough, melted while watching the video. He gave the client an extremely mitigated sentence that allowed him ultimately to reunite with his family. Bev's response, as always, was simply doing what needed to be done. The second point I want to make is about Bev's humility. I could choose many anecdotes to illustrate this, but the most recent comes from her response when she found out she'd been chosen for this award. Her immediate reaction was, why me? I'm just a public defender. Because Bev, you, with a JD magna cum laude, who could be earning huge money in private practice, are choosing to work for the indigent in Philadelphia and to do it brilliantly. In the words of your boss, Annie Fisher, Bev fights for those who cannot fight for themselves, those who are part of the least popular segments of society, and she sees the good and humanity in people when others have given up on them. Who could be more deserving? Bev, I am proud to have known you as an undergraduate and thrilled to see you get this well-deserved acknowledgement of your hard work and your service to those who need it most.
I have been fighting the cold. I usually don't sound this bad, and if I start to cough, I apologize. I want to start by saying how honored and how humbled I am to be here tonight. When I read the accomplishments of the other people being honored tonight, I do think to myself the same thing I said to Dr. Bardsley when I found out about this, which was, are you sure you want me? Congratulations to those who are being honored tonight with me. And thank you for doing your part in trying to make this world a better place. Making this world a better place in my own unique way has been something I've wanted to do since I was in elementary school. Since then, I have always wanted to be the person standing next to those in their moment of peril, and wanted to be the person who told their story when they thought no one else was listening. I am so grateful for the education and the opportunities I received at Moravian, which have prepared me for just that. When I entered law school, I saw the advantage I had over many of my peers. I was able to absorb and dissect dozens and dozens of pages of material each and every night. And as an attorney now, I'm lucky enough to have the admiration of many of my colleagues, where I have the ability to respond to last-minute motions filed by district attorneys overnight and win in court the next day. I know that is because of the hours I spent in the library or locked myself in a empty classroom typing up one of Dr. Bardsley's papers. I know it is because of the hours I spent in her classroom, learning from her, and sitting in her office, taking in as much as I could. I know it is because of her that I can do that with ease today. In being a part of the honors program here, I learned how to defend my work, and to some of the most brilliant critics, as Dr. Bardsley was on my panel. But I learned how to do that here, and in my line of work, I have to defend my work every single day. I am so grateful for Moravian. I learned so much in my 4 years here, from the classroom to the field hockey field. Moravian and its lessons have certainly shaped who I am today. Of course, my work is rather challenging and emotionally draining, and I would not be standing here in one piece if it were not for the unconditional emotional support of my family. My mom and my Uncle Jim, who never missed a game, by the way. And for the last 6 years, my husband, who is also a former public defender, and his family as well. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the amazing and dedicated people I work with at the Defender Association of Philadelphia. They are the most hardworking, caring, and talented group of people I have ever met. And I am honored to fight alongside of them each and every day. And last but certainly not least, my clients, whose life stories inspire me to push harder than I ever thought possible. Moravian really prepared me for what the rest of my life would be like. In the words of the great Muhammad Ali, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. I spend long nights and weekends at my office or sadly in a jail meeting with my clients, preparing for their moments of peril, their life's battle. And while I have often hated those light nights, it has been worth it every single time to be someone else's champion. Thank you.
Following the tradition of Moravian's founder, Countess Benigna Gonzendorf, Moravian has long produced dedicated educators who are innovative leaders and advocates for education. In recognition of the important role our Moravian alumni have played in the field of education, the Alumni Association is proud to give the Benigna Education Award. Here to present the 2016 Benigna Education Award recipient, Dr. Carol Trotman-Carr, class of 1986, a leader in academia, is Dr. Cynthia Coso, Moravian College Provost.
And thank you for pulling this down for me so I didn't have to do it myself. I appreciate that. So I'm pretty sure absolutely everybody in this room already knows Carol Trotman-Carr and has known her longer and knows her better than I do, but nevertheless I'm going to try to say a few things, a few words about her for those who might not, and I can't imagine who you might be. First of all, as you all know, she graduated summa cum laude from Moravian in '86, so she's a proud graduate from music, and she began her journey with Moravian and began a Moravian legacy for her own family. And I believe all of the Moravian alums are up there in the row at the back there. Her younger brother, her younger sister, her sister-in-law, a cousin, I'm not sure your cousin is here, and her son are all here as well, carrying out the Moravian legacy. After her own graduation, Carol was a middle school music teacher in Ithaca, New York for 2 years while she completed her PhD after a lot of exciting episodes in her life at that moment. But when the call came in 1992 from Moravian for her help, she came right back and worked her way up through the ranks through professor, holding virtually every faculty line possible. Now, on any given day, you'll find Carol, right? You'll find her in the stands at a basketball game. You'll find her eating lunch in the marketplace, sometimes with me, attending student, faculty, or staff events. She's everywhere. In truth, though, the criteria for this award describes the character of her life and work. As an alumna, professor, and now associate provost of Moravian, her love and commitment to the school and education and her community is obvious. So I pulled out, sort of like the top 10 reasons that Carol received this award from all the letters that we wrote on her behalf. And the first one is her dedication to the college, its faculty and staff, and most of all, the students. The second is her contributions to the college that touch every aspect of the institution's life, from student success to program development, to faculty hiring, to leading major faculty committees. The third is her combination of rigor and compassion. What a great combination in all of her work with students and faculty and staff. Her success and persistence is the fourth thing I picked out in helping countless students who might have fallen by the wayside find their way to graduation and success in later life. And that really is an effort that is the stuff of legend in our office. It's unbelievable the work that she does in that regard. When someone needs help, she's there, period, end of story. The fifth is her ability to deal with difficult situations regarding students, parents, and faculty patiently, fairly, and with compassion. Although I have to say that sometimes when the door closes and the faculty member or the student or the parent walks out, we get another side of the story. And that's I won't share any of those details. Another is her desire to always bring the community together and never to divide it. One of my favorites is her speed and accuracy, and I think it was John Conrad that pointed it out in one of the letters on her behalf. She is the fastest thing that you have ever seen. She types, talks, and plans all at the same time, and before the meeting is ended, we have the minutes. It's just an incredible. The eighth thing is her ability to conceive of, promote, and see to fruition innovative programs for the college, from undergraduate to graduate programs. And when I first wrote this out, I had a whole list there, and I was going to actually say some of them, but Bob Gratz told me that if I went over 3 minutes, he was going to turn out the lights. So, her work with the community at large is also another one of the things that we've really noticed about Carol. She can be found directing her church choir, helping at her daughter's school, St. Anne's. She's sought after a member of any organized effort, and any disorganized effort, better watch out, because she will organize it immediately. And last but definitely not least, she's really a lot of fun to work with, so she's great. And I have just a couple other things I want to say. Let me end by saying this. Since my arrival on campus, I've discovered in Carol a wealth and breadth of information, detail, experience, empathy, curiosity, and talent, all used in the service of others, never for herself. My guess is there's not a single person on our campus who's not benefited from her wisdom and her care. She balances her work and her home life carefully and compassionately, with skill and with grace. Her intelligence is leavened with compassion. Her work ethic is surpassed by nothing, actually, and supported by a sense of humor and fun. Her life appears to those of us who know her as a kind of tapestry. It's beautifully woven with threads from her family, from her church, from her community, and from her college. And I imagine the young Countess Benigna to have had these same fine characteristics. So I can't imagine anybody more worthy of this award. Thank you.
Bob did not say that I had a time limit, and he knows that I wrote an over 300-page honors thesis and an over 500-page dissertation, so I hope you're comfortable. I didn't realize when I was informed that I was getting this award that I had to make a speech at all. And in the same week that Amanda Warner notified us of that, there was an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond on TV where he gets an honorary doctorate and forgets to thank his wife. And I've been panicked ever since. So I want to start with thanking people. I want to thank Cynthia for that really wonderful introduction. I want to thank the colleagues and the friends here at Moravian who nominated me. I really am baffled by that. I want to thank the Alumni Board for selecting me. And for my family, I'm going to try not to forget any of them. My husband, let's start with him. My husband, who I think sometimes is often confused by this tapestry that Cynthia spoke of. And who, after marrying me, came to Moravian and got his degree, so he's also a Moravian alum. My son, who's currently a Moravian college student. My daughter, who couldn't be here because a part of this tapestry is how St. Anne's community and Moravian community go together. And today is St. Anne's school day at the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and she's playing the national anthem, so I let her go and do that because that's her community. To my dad and my mom, I wish my mom could be here. To my siblings, one of whom graduated from Moravian, he's in the back row, one of whom did not but married a Moravian graduate, and one of whom went to another school and then realized she made a mistake and came to Moravian College to get her teacher's certification. To my in-laws and my vast array of extended family, I really got very lucky. I have some really phenomenal family members, including 2 cousins who came up from the Philadelphia area, one of whom sent her son to Moravian. To my work family, I've seen some of you here, I've seen many of you here. It's really a privilege and an honor to be with you every single day. And to the students who make this work so meaningful. Whether you're the students who are standing in front of me on Wednesday nights or on Sunday mornings in my choir, the students at St. Anne's when I work with you to volunteer, the students who have been in my music classes and who cursed me until they had to take their master's exams and they sent me saying, yeah, that was worth it after all. And the students who I like to see walk across the stage at graduation. I think there were 2 events really that changed the trajectory of my life, and one was in 1982 when I was looking at schools and I was all ready to go to another small private liberal arts college. And then I visited Moravian and realized how much they cared about the students and put the students first, and I decided to come here, and that changed everything. As Cynthia said, I went off to graduate school, and while I was in graduate school, I lost my funding. Everyone in my entire class lost its funding. Some people had to leave. They got jobs as short order cooks, they went off to New York City, they had to leave the country because they were international students. I had teacher certification from my program at Moravian, so I took the New York State Teachers Exam and got certified to teach in New York, and I taught middle school. God bless middle school teachers. I was teaching, I was several months away from getting tenure. I had a salary, I had benefits. I was living in beautiful Ithaca, New York. I was months away from getting tenure in the in the union there. And Monica Shantz, I don't know if she's here today, but Monica Shantz called me and said, I want you to come back to Moravian. I don't have a full-time job for you. I can't offer you a salary or benefits. And I can't guarantee you a full-time job at any point in the future. But I need you to come and fix the music history curriculum. It was Moravian. I had to say yes. But I also had to pay my bills, and so I applied for some church jobs, and I got 3 church jobs. And this is another one of those things. I'm a big believer in things working out the way that God intends. He lets us do a lot on our own, but once in a while, things just work out the way God intends. I got 3 offers for 3 different churches in Lehigh Valley. I chose the one where Mass was at 10:30 instead of 9. By doing that, I landed in a wonderful community that very much reflects Moravian in some ways. It's a wonderful church community. It's a great school. They value academics. They value spirituality. They value service. They value each other as a community. And so St. Anne's and Moravian have been a part of my life since 1992 when I made that decision to come back here, and I couldn't be more thankful. I did, in short order, thankfully get a full-time job here, and I've been here since. I thought I would teach forever. I still am in some ways, in lots of little ways. But I was asked in 2000 to apply for the job of Associate Dean, and my first reaction was, why would anyone in their right mind do that? Apparently I am not in my right mind. But taking that job has made me realize that I am so blessed and fortunate beyond words. Moravian helps me pay my family's bills because they do give me a paycheck. But it never feels like work. It's always stimulating, it's always challenging, it's always rewarding, even behind that closed door. It is a phenomenal community. It is my family. You all, you alums, you students, you former faculty, current faculty, you are part of that family. I really don't feel like I deserve this recognition because I'm just coming every day to do my job. Every day is homecoming for me. And I'm really proud and thankful to be part of the community. Thank you so much.
I just want to take a moment. We neglected to recognize one of our outstanding alumni who is a former award recipient. So I just want to take a moment to recognize Ken Rampolla, class of 1979, and current chairman of the Moravian College Board of Trustees. Each year, the Moravian College Alumni Association recognizes an alumna or alumnus for his or her outstanding service to Moravian College and the Alumni Association with the Medallion of Merit Award. This is a very prestigious award because it is awarded to an alumna or alumnus for continued and exceptional dedication to Moravian. This year's recipient has and continues to serve countless hours with the Alumni Association of both the college and the seminary, has planned and executed main alumni events, and is well known throughout all of the Moravian community. Here to present the 2016 Medallion of Merit Award to Bertie Francis Knisley, class of 1969, is Candy Barr Heimbach, member of the class of 1979.
Good evening, everyone. I am truly honored to be here tonight to introduce my very dear friend, Bertie Knisley, class of 1969, as the 2016 recipient of the Medallion of Merit Award. This award is given in recognition of Bertie's outstanding service to Moravian College and the Alumni Association. While there are many people here who love Moravian College, there is no one here who loves Moravian College and its family more than Bertie Knisley. She has devoted the last 25 years of her life to Moravian College, both professionally and personally. Bertie spent 16 years as the Director of Alumni Relations, working to create programs that facilitated a lifelong relationship with Moravian and its alums. She started that with accepted students and brought them into the fold immediately, and extended out to those who had graduated more than 50 years before. In 2007, Bertie transitioned to a new position as the Director of Leadership Given, connecting alumni to Moravian through their financial support. Her dedication to the current and future students of Moravian was evident as she reached out to graduates to ensure that the Moravian experience and the Moravian family would continue to be available for many years to come. What many don't realize about Bertie, however, is that in addition to doing her job, which extended far beyond that 40-hour work week that one would be expected to work, Bertie opened her heart and her home to students who were far away from their families, and who, but for her kind invitation, would have spent holidays alone. She invited students from other countries to share in holiday traditions, making sure that no one was left alone. In addition to Bertie making these students feel like a part of the Moravian family, she also reached out to older alums who found themselves unable to participate in events the way they used to in years gone by. She visited their homes and sat and listened to them, to their stories about their time at Moravian, and she shared her warmth and laughter with each and every one of them. Bertie brought graduates of all ages back to Moravian College and re-engaged them in the Moravian community. She did this through her leadership, involving alums in the lives of current students and ensuring that the Moravian family continued to flourish. Bertie knew everyone's name and every one of the class years as well. And I bet we could stand any one of you up and she could tell you what year you graduated. Just as Carol just indicated, Bertie also never considered her work at Moravian as a job. It was really more her life's calling. She could be found at sporting events, academic events, and even in classes, one who continues to love to learn. Bertie has a true gift to make people feel special, as evidenced by the number of folks who traveled from far and wide to be here to honor her and her dedication to this institution, and more importantly, to the Moravian family. For those of us who have had the privilege to know this remarkable woman, we know that her heart belongs to Moravian, and of course to her daughter Jane, her son Mark, their spouses, and her 3 adorable grandchildren. She has extended her family to include all of us, and we are truly enriched by her presence in our lives. For those of you who know Bertie, you know she has an infectious laugh and a smile that demonstrates her kind heart and gentle soul. She is one of the most caring and compassionate women that I know, and in my opinion, there is no one more deserving of this award than Bertie Nisley. Congratulations, Bertie, on being the recipient of the Medallion of Merit Award. You are truly an inspiration to us all.
Well, I know that there are 2 colleagues of mine who have a bet going. One thinks I'm going to be whimsical. The other thinks I'm going to cry. And right now, the crying one is closer to the truth. I brought my tissue just in case. I'm going to try not to. And of course, the Alumni Association for this recognition. It really does mean a lot. And it's amazing to be back here with so many of you who I consider to be my friends through this amazing institution, Moravian College. It's kind of brought us together and connected us, and Moravian does that. You know, we come here as, I was 17 in 1965, but we come here as wet behind the ear freshmen, and we follow the invitation, the opportunity. And once we get here, Moravian connects us. And it's not just for a year or 2, it's for life. And I'm so grateful for that. And then Moravian offers the opportunity to grow. And there's so many opportunities that you can just take advantage and figure out who you are and start to trust that you have the potential to be a leader. And that happened to me, and I'm forever grateful. But I'm doubly grateful because I had a second chance to come back. When I left here in 1969, I never thought I'd be back to work here at Moravian. And then Moravian said, there's an opportunity, try it. And I decided to do that. And when I came back, I had no idea how rich my experience would be and how profoundly so many of you here tonight would touch my life and would just change me and grow me. And I have to say that I actually just wouldn't be here tonight if it weren't for so many of you. You were so generous, have been so generous in sharing your skills, your leadership, your wisdom, your considerable amount of time and talent, and of course, just as important to me, your laughter. You and many who are not here tonight have woven your stories into, yes, the fabric of my life, into its tapestry. And you've become really a part of not just my Moravian family, but of my heart. I have you always in my heart. I could tell many stories, but I too have that evil eye from Bob Gratz. But I am going to take the liberty to tell one story. Because it's a love story. It's actually a love song. It's about a love song. It's about Olivia Musselman Barnes, who graduated in 1938, heart of the Depression, and went on to not only raise 2 sons as a single mother, but to be a distinguished and very successful businesswoman and an alumni leader extraordinaire. Olivia returned to Moravian to attend her final Founders Day Love Feast for celebrating the Women's College. And she returned in a wheelchair. And she sat through the service with her son sitting by her side. But when it was time to rise to sing the Women's College alma mater, he could not keep her down. She somehow struggled to her feet, and she stood there proudly belting out all 3 verses of the alma mater without seeing any words, as if she knew it would be her last opportunity to do that. And it was. It was her love song to the place that it had afforded her a life of great meaning and just, tremendous opportunity. And I have to say that together with Olivia and many who are no longer with us or cannot be here tonight, each one of you has helped me to write my own love song for Moravian College. And I thank you. I'm not quite done. I still have a few seconds. Because I have 2 particular alumni that I want to thank tonight. And one of them is my daughter Jane, who came up from Washington with her husband Eric. And while I was off running programs and attending meetings nights and weekends, she somehow managed to kind of raise herself into this tremendously wonderful woman who makes me very proud and should be making Moravian proud because she graduated in 2000. And the other is our president, Brian Grigsby, class of 1990. Brian, your passion for our students and for our alma mater has inspired me since the day you set foot on this campus. And your vision for our alma mater gives me confidence to know that Moravian is in the right hands and that Moravian is going to go far in the future. And it is with that confidence that I stand and ask every one of you in this room to support him in fulfilling that mission and to be a part of moving Moravian forward in whatever way you can. And I hope that's including your financial resources, by the way. And laughter always helps. He hears enough of the grousing along the way. But I can guarantee that if you do give what you can to Moravian, and as much as you can to Moravian, you will find that you are the one that's going to cherish the tremendous gift that Moravian gives back to you, like it has to me. Thank you.
In 1970, the Moravian College Alumni Association established the Halpert Humanitarian Award to honor an alumna or alumnus who has rendered outstanding service in the cause of human welfare. Consideration is given to alumni whose service extends beyond the normal requirements of their jobs. The Hallpark Humanitarian Award is not awarded every year, but only when an alumnus or alumna who is truly worthy of recognition for distinctive humanitarian service comes to the attention of the Alumni Association Executive Committee. Our 2016 recipient's dedication to helping communities dealing with social injustices is truly remarkable, and I'm pleased to ask Dr. Dana Dunn and Dr. Robert Brill, both Professor of Psychology at Moravian, to present Dr. Brett Stout, class of 1998, as the 2016 Hallpark Humanitarian Award recipient.
We are delighted to see our former student and now colleague, Dr. Brett Stout, receive the Hallpark Humanitarian Award. Brett's grand potential was quite obvious to us during his days as an undergraduate, as he served as well-respected and well-balanced role model, stellar role model student. He presided over both our Psychology Club and Psy-Chi National Honor Society, as well as serving as a resident advisor. That ever-challenging role diligently monitoring his classmates. So basically, Brett went from busting dorm parties to organizing protests against social injustices in New York. Wow. What an exemplar of how the liberal arts can transform a person. I'll turn it over to Dean.
After a very successful career at Moravian, and Brett, by the way, graduated magna cum laude with honors, Brett pursued master's and doctoral degrees at the Graduate Center of the City University of New York. Before completing his doctoral work, he was hired by John Jay College of Criminal Justice, where he's currently an assistant professor in the Department of Psychology with a joint appointment to the Gender Studies program. And he recently has been told that he has earned tenure there, which delights us to learn. Recognizing his talent, in 2012, his graduate school alma mater sought him out for a secondary position with their institution to support their environmental psychology program. And Dr. Stout continues to provide dedicated service and the highest standard of work for both positions to the present day. As indicators of his high-quality work, Dr. Stout has received the following recognitions: the Award for Excellence in Gender Research and Activism, the 2012 Michelle Alexander Early Career Award for Scholarship and Service, and 2 consecutive years, both 2013 and 2014, he received the Cooney Chancellor's Salute to Scholars honor. His active scholarship has produced journal articles, book chapters, and encyclopedia entries, along with other monographs, reports, and commissioned papers. And as the editor of a bibliography, in the scholarly bibliography, I'm hoping he'll once in a while try to do something for me. I keep asking, but to no avail. Perhaps this award will push that along. Our talented alum was invited to the White House to present 2 of his ongoing research studies, the Morris Justice Project and the Public Science Project, as part of a panel within the framework of a citizen science forum. When I was an undergraduate, my favorite dean at Carnegie Mellon used 2 words to describe outstanding people. Kindness was one and decency was the other, and those both describe Brett Stout.
Kind of tag team here, you got 2 of us, so it's special. Last spring, Moravian College, and especially our own psychology majors, were extremely blessed that Brett accepted our invitation to come back and share the wealth of knowledge, insight, and experience he had with our students, and he did so with abundance and graciously giving them an incredibly impacting, both educational and inspirational presentation. He brought along his colleagues and some of the wonderful community members just outside, within the Bronx, just outside New York, Yankee Stadium, that he has empowered and helped out with his research, his action research model, so graciously and so effectively. So in short, his stellar work aligns very well with the outstanding service in the cause of human welfare and the positive difference in the lives of others in the community he lives in or in the community at large. These are the criteria that are outlined for this award. Brett's zeal and energy, armed with his research skills, have been a catalyst for positive change directly and through the dissemination of research that truly benefits others. Thus, we are proud and honored to present Dr. Brett Stout for recognition from Moravian College as we bestow upon him the well-deserved merit of the Hopper Humanitarian Award. Dr. Stout.
Thank you, Dr. Dunn and Dr. Brill. I'm just honored that most of you are here today on a Saturday. Congratulations to all the others who received awards today. It's humbling. If you don't mind, like others, I just wrote a couple of brief sentences in response to this really amazing award. You don't often get the chance to come back to your alma mater and share some reflections and some long overdue thank yous. So I'd like the opportunity to do that. I have this vivid memory of my parents moving me into third floor Bernhardt, and then that emotional moment of departing. I'd see them only a couple days later, but that moment seemed at the time monumental, like everything was about to change, and it was. The first weekend, I would meet about 30 or so other guys, housemates really, who lived on the floor. The beginning of what would become a source of pride and identity for all of us. We were now third Bernies. It changed everything. And then the first day of classes, I dressed up. I really had no idea how to dress for a college course. I decided to dress up like I was going to church. I had no other standpoint. Terrified, I thought, could I pass a college course? When will I be found out? When will Moravian find out that they made a mistake granting me admission? That semester I took a religious course. It was the first time I read word for word Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It changed everything. That next semester I accidentally stumbled into a feminist philosophy course. I was one of 3 guys in the room. It changed everything. Dr. Dunn was my advisor. By watching him and working with him, I realized I wanted to make college professor my career. By watching him, I too wanted to think deeply, but understand broadly. To do research, to write articles, to teach students. In my sophomore year, when I learned Dr. Dunn subscribed to The New Yorker, I too subscribed to it. When I realized he was a member of the American Psychological Association, I too became a member. He mentored me all the way through graduate school acceptance letters 1 year after graduation. Changed everything. Dr. Brill is a Moravian College icon and institutional treasure. I learned what it meant to be an engaged scholar from Dr. Brill. I learned what it meant to absorb yourself in educating the whole person from Dr. Brill. He too mentored me all the way through graduate school acceptance letters 1 year after graduation, and it continues. I gave a talk here, as was mentioned last fall. I met Dr. Brill over drinks. He counseled me on work-life balance. Within the boundaryless walls of the university, he offered me the well-worn lessons he learned and I needed to hear. It changed everything. This is what Moravian has meant and still means to me, an accumulation of big and small moments that, once experienced, change everything. A network of people, family, friends, and mentors who smooth my inevitably rocky paths. So, thank you, Dr. Dunn and Dr. Brill. I am in debt. Thank you to my partner, wife, Sherry Beth, and my son, Owen. They're somewhere around here. I don't see. There they are. I love you both dearly. Thank you to my mom, Cindy, and my dad, Gary. You're the reason in every possible way I was able to come to Moravian and then graduate from Moravian. I love you both. To my Aunt Candy Miller, who is an invaluable employee here at Moravian. Her husband, Donnie Miller, who is an amazing teacher of criminal justice at Cedar Crest. Moravian should snatch him up. And to my grandmother, Helena Stout, thank you. I love you all. Grandpa would like to be here. My cousin, Olivia Schlofer, is in the audience today. She is a freshman here. This is her very first semester. She is a gift to Moravian, brilliant, confident, compassionate, and athletic superstar. I ask Moravian to change everything for her like you did for me. Inspire her like you did me. Teach her compassion like you did me. Nurture her like you did me. Open her mind to radical imaginations like you did me. Invest in her future like you did mine. This is a truly humbling award. Thank you.
Since 1941, the Alumni Association has honored one of our most distinguished alumni with the John Amos Comenius Alumni Award for outstanding achievement in his or her profession. As a distinguished leader in the field of environmental policy and protection, this year's recipient, James Lyon, class of 1976, more than meets the criteria for this award. Here to present the 2016 Comenius Alumni Award recipient is Joseph Bender, class of 1976.
Chairman Rampola, distinguished guests, I'm honored to be here, to have been asked to introduce this good man, my friend Jim. Why me? He said, you're the first Moravian, actual Moravian I ever met, and that apparently was good enough. We'll see. We did that, met, in August of 1972. Two scared kids, making like we were toughs in front of Johnson Hall, about to start two-a-days for football practice, and hoping we would see some playing time. Two-a-days tend to expose the person beneath the posing. By the time classes commenced our freshman year, we were friends. It was clear that Jim had the character to do what it takes and take him far. Where, however, was anybody's guess. Here we are 40 years later. Jim is a Dean of Conservation and Environmental Advocacy in the United States. As Vice President of the Conservation Policy for National Wildlife Federation, the nation's largest conservation organization, he is the guy responsible for making the case that we need to address climate change, be good stewards of the resources God has blessed us with, and to do it in a way that does justice both to us and the natural treasures around us. Not a big job. It came so much easier this past November. How did we get here? How did he get here? It was all me. Well, perhaps a bit of Betsy is another accomplished Moravian grad somewhere in the audience here, and loving and supporting wife for many years. After graduation, I'll tell you how. After graduation, Jim stayed in Bethlehem for a bit, tending bar, deciding on what's next. I went to Washington to pursue a graduate degree, thanks to Moravian chaplain Robert Woosley getting me a fellowship. Well, it soon became apparent that the deal I cut to renovate my ghetto dwelling in exchange for rent was taking too much time, and I was in jeopardy of a quick exit. Jim quickly agreed to relocate, assume my charge, and it didn't hurt that Betsy, his sweetheart, was also in DC continuing her studies. I fetched Jim on a late fall weekend in my dilapidated two-seater sports car. Well, actually, there was a driver's seat. Jim covered the hole in the floor with a towel, used a steamer trunk, holding all his earthly possessions as a backrest, and we limped into Washington, found a parking place, and the adventure began. That car didn't move again until it was towed. But Jim's career had begun. After a stint plying his restaurant and bar talents, he landed a job with the Environmental Policy Institute, working to clean rivers. I thought it was a natural thing. His dad was an engineer, wastewater treatment. Soon, he was visiting coal mine communities, witnessing the damage poorly regulated mining practices inflicted on the people and environment there. He spent 12 years advocating for environmental justice on their behalf in state legislatures and in Congress. At Moravian, Jim was an outstanding defensive tackle. Lettered 4 years, captain, co-captain to senior year, tenacious and true. His next job was as vice president of the Mineral Policy Institute. That one we called Rocks for the Jock. He proved he had learned that what he had learned and demonstrated on the playing field made him up to the task. During his 8 years there, he fought hard as a force to protect our western public lands and led the national campaign to get Congress to reform antiquated mining laws dating to 1872, more than a century past, that promoted mining practices that too often left land scarred, wildlife dead and displaced, and the few longtime inhabitants dispossessed when the war played out. For the last 20 years, he has been guiding strategies to inform the national debate on environment and wildlife protection, and to advocate in Congress to take necessary actions. In that role, he coordinates the many local and state affiliates of the National Wildlife Federation, but also other environmental, social justice, conservation, and sportsman organizations that have common cause. He is working to protect the Everglades, the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, the monarch butterfly. He was there during Deepwater Horizon and is still making sure cleanup is continuing and the money paid by BP is used well to repair lives and damaged ecology. And he is on the front lines of combating climate change. Where did those skills come from? From where the passion? Where did he hone those skills? Moravian did its part. We were products of the turbulent eras, the 1960s and 1970s. There was flower power. We were worried, however, that we might be the last to die in Vietnam. Watergate was a rumor with legs. Status quo, no mo, baby. Jim was comfortable with that dynamic and had the passion and the intellect and was a bit of a prankster. To its credit, Moravian was not the place where the athlete was seen as unable to be a scholar or an activist. Jim was elected president of the student government. He wanted to shake things up. He was instrumental in bringing to the campus a relatively unknown peanut farmer from Georgia who was running for president, and also a radical lawyer, William Kunstler. Jimmy Carter went on to become president. Kunstler became an overnight guest, party guest, at our apartment over the old brewery tavern. I doubt President Carter would have approved the goings on that night. Jim was one of the founders of the Model United Nations competitions. We drew Ghana. Never mind its never mind status, Jim devised a strategy that outsized our insignificance. When the awards were made, we took second overall. First went to Harvard. A homer call. They were the hosts. We should have been first. So Jim had it then and still does. Jim Lyon has spent his entire adult life in public service, fighting for the little guy and those that can't, just where he wanted to be. He has made our country a better place for us, our children, and our grandchildren. And now, that work is ever more important. When agreeing to make this introduction, it came with a price. He'd have to stay on the job. It's my pleasure and honor to commend to you the 2016 recipient of the Comenius Award, my friend, Jim Lyon.
The check is in the mail, Joe. Thank you. I've known Joe a very long time. He's told you a lot about our great adventures. What he didn't say about the apartment that we were taking over, it was a row house in DuPont Circle. It had 3 floors, 3 apartments. It didn't have a front door. It was supposed to, but we didn't know where it was. And the first floor apartment was vacant, and it didn't have a front door. It did have a homeless guy that came in every evening to sleep there. So, my thanks to Joe for setting me on my way. My good friend John Schroeder, who was down there, and another reason for us to go. What could go wrong with any of that? Want to thank the college. President Rigsby, the Alumni Association, the awards committee. This is an honor. It's humble, and I think, as you know, and those of you who know me, humble is not a word that gets associated with me very, very easily, but I am, because this institution graduates a lot of great people that go on to good things, and they deserve recognition. I was talking to somebody about this, about my feelings about this, and he says, "Hey, Lyon, just think about all those times that you deserved recognition, that you didn't get it, and savor this one." And I will. But that doesn't make up for me not getting the Homecoming King Award. I need to recognize somebody who's been my partner from all times here. Many of you who know her, Betsy Tober. Betsy and I met here on campus. She also moved to DC. I don't know why she joined the clown outfit, but she came down. She parlayed her much better educational achievements and significant communication awards to a professional career down there with membership and professional associations and over 11 years with the federal court system. She's, I don't tell this to her very much. I've learned a lot from her. She stood by me through all of this. As a good Jersey girl, she calls me on my horse hockey when she needs to, which is quite often. We've been married 38 years. We raised 2 great kids. If anybody deserves an award, it's her. Please stand up. Caused me time to reflect about my time here at Moravian and what it meant to me and what the education did, and others have talked about it today, and what I was able to explore and how it opened me up. I'm a big fan of small liberal arts college. My parents didn't go to college. They damn sure made us go to school. But I needed some place like this to kind of find what I needed to do. There were a lot of things and experiences besides the education that really was foundational, even football. And I got to say, we never won a championship while I was here. Came in second at best, but if there's one thing that we were known for in those days, it was a scrappy underdog team that you just did not want to tangle with. And I want to thank my teammates here, and Coach Cretus, wherever you are up here, for that, because I've parlayed that stuff into the political arena where I need to. After I left Moravian, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't go to grad school. I was out of money. I was living in an apartment without a door. And I had $400 in the bank. But I knew that I kind of had to find my way and take some time to make it work for me. and use the things that I had kind of acquired through life to find that way. There was something stirring in me, and it was kind of cause-related work. And that ended up being my cause, and the environment really fit me like a glove. I was lucky in the beginning to find an organization that would give me a chance. The best thing was they paid me what I was worth, which was not much of anything at all. But I was in the door, and I was on my way. And that door opened up to another opportunity a little later that Joe referenced. I got an opportunity to work with Coalfield citizens who were fighting to protect their land and their water, and their public safety, their family safety from reckless mining that was often illegal, and not having regulatory agencies there that would back them up because of the political power in those regions, which is palpable. It was a sobering education for me. I mean, I talk about this often, and because I didn't think America was really like that in some ways, and certainly wasn't where I grew up. I got to know some very strong and very courageous people, some who would never describe themselves as environmentalists, and yet they're greater environmentalists than I will ever be. That experience was foundational to me. Since that time and over the years, I got a chance to do a lot of other things. Some of it was mentioned today. I love working for the National Wildlife Federation. It's a great organization. You all can be members. Take out subscriptions to Ranger Rick magazine. That's us too. All right, commercial's over. But I've been fortunate to be able to get to work on some big national conservation issues and political policy fights, and having to navigate through what's often dysfunctional politics in order to get things done. While I do work on K Street, I get outside and have seen some spectacular places that we all own, frankly, in our public lands and our waters, and world-class, globally important ecosystems, and the stunning wildlife that make these places their home. I don't work to save the Earth. The Earth doesn't, frankly, need me. It's going to do just fine. What matters is what we do ourselves that affect life on Earth, plants and animals and humans. That's really what this is all about. There's connective tissue to what we do to the human community. We're not apart from it. A recent study just came out a couple of months ago that said since the 1970s, since the time I was in a classroom here, we've lost half the number of wildlife animals on the planet. Not endangered species, that's a whole other scene. But just in a matter of a few decades, half the number of animals isn't there anymore. Now that's obviously not good for the critters, but it's probably also not really good for us down the road in terms of our quality of life. There's good news though, and then the one thing that keeps me going through all of this is that there's solutions and that we've made progress, and often we don't recognize the progress that we are making as a human race in dealing with issues like that. But for those problems that we're not solving, there are solutions there. It's the political will that often lags. The baton's being passed. The millennials and their children are going to be the ones who are going to have to deal and solve many of the environmental problems that face us today. So it's important that the future generation have a connection with nature in order to value it and understand it. And we know today that our kids are more disconnected and they don't spend enough time outside, and that's a real challenge. So now more than ever, reconnecting people to nature, giving them the skills, the science skills to understand natural systems and what makes our human community sustainable is important. And that brings me back to here. And that's why I got connected early in my life, and Moravian took it to another level. So the work that goes on here is vital. And that's what makes this award so special. So thank you very much.
Please join me in extending our sincere congratulations to all of our recipients. You will have the opportunity to congratulate our award recipients in person at the reception in Foy Lobby and the Paint Gallery immediately following the ceremony. Before you leave, I would like to ask all presenters and award recipients, students included, to come to the stage area for additional photos immediately following the ceremony. Those with tickets for tonight's Vespers will walk over as a group a little before 7 p.m. Gather by the front doors of the lobby area, and staff and students will guide you to the church. Thank you again for coming, and enjoy the rest of your evening.